Hi everyone, your boy Not to Know Reviews is back, and today I'm going to be starting up a new series. This series I'm going to call The Problem with Blank. And in this series I'm basically going to be talking about a specific problem that I have with a movie. And in this video's case, I'm going to talk about the problem with The Lion King 2019 remake. Okay guys, I'm just gonna call it The Lion King 2019, okay guys? Cool. So yeah, The Lion King 2019 is a thing. Now, I didn't have any really high expectations for this movie. Because if I've learned anything from watching all the other Disney live-action remakes, it's that they're not often the best movies. Now, some of them aren't too bad, like the Jungle Book remake, but still, I wasn't too hyped for this movie. But, to be fair, if we're looking at this movie objectively, it isn't actually that bad. Because it's basically the original Lion King, which is one of the best animated movies of all time in my opinion. But that's also the problem with this movie. The problem with The Lion King 2019 is that it is just the original, but instead of being animated, it now has CGI animals. Now, just as a disclaimer, I haven't watched the English version because I live in Norway, so I only got to see the one with the Norwegian language. But I'm pretty sure there's not too much of a difference there. And as someone who has watched the original movie a lot of times and basically remember almost every scene, this movie just felt really unnecessary to me. Like, I didn't need to watch this movie. I have already watched the original, and seriously, if you have watched Lion King in 1994, then you don't need to watch this movie, okay? You really don't. But hey, who am I to tell you what to do, so just, if you want to watch it, then fine, but I'm just saying, I don't think you'll get that much out of watching it. There is also a problem with this movie having realistic CGI animals, specifically in the musical numbers and in the emotional scenes. Let's talk about the musical numbers first. In the original movie, the musical numbers worked so well, not just because of the singing, but also because of how the characters looked and how it was animated. Because if you make an animated movie, you have less limits on what you can do. You can have more striking colors, more interesting visuals, and stuff like that. In the remake, however, since they were going for a more realistic approach, the musical numbers just feel dull and lifeless. All the color, all the energy from the original musical numbers are just gone, replaced with boring, washed out colors and no life. And this might be an unfair comparison since the new movie is trying to be more realistic, the musical numbers aren't going to be as memorable. But still, I can't even remember any of the actual musicals in this movie, unlike the first one where I basically remember all of them. And then we have the emotional scenes. Now I'm going to be using Mufasa's death as an example here. This moment in the original movie still has me shedding a tear to this day, even though I've watched it so many times. And it's not just because we just saw the main character's father die right in front of our eyes, and Simba then going up to him and seeing that his father is dead, but I also think it has something to do about the animation. The way Simba is animated in this scene is perfect. It's so amazing how they managed to get so much emotion out of just his eyes and his face. It's so amazing. And there's also a big difference in Simba's face from when he's being sad to when he's being happy. Can't say the same about this version of Simba though. In all the scenes in this movie, Simba and most of the other animals as well look the same in every single scene, whether or not if it's a sad scene, a funny scene, or whatever. And this is why scenes like Mufasa's death in this movie doesn't work, because Simba doesn't look sad. He just looks like how he does in every other scene in the movie. And yes, I know that cats in real life doesn't do this either, and this movie was trying to be realistic, so I guess it can kinda get a pass, because I mean, in real life, when you look at a cat, I don't know about you, but I can never tell what they're feeling at that moment. I mean, I should know, I own a cat. But still, that just helps to show how bad of an idea it was to remake the original movie in CGI like this and basically just remake the entire movie again. And listen guys, if you like this movie, which is a surprising amount of you, I gotta be honest, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with liking this movie in my opinion. But still, I just felt like I didn't get anything out of watching this movie. And yeah, that's truly the problem with The Lion King 2019. If you've seen the original, you don't need to watch this one. It just feels like a cash grab. And yeah, of course, this movie made a lot of money, and I mean a lot. And that wasn't really surprising. If this movie was good or bad, I don't think it would have mattered. I think people still would have went to watch it, and it still would have made a lot of money, despite the fact if it was completely new and original, or, well, what it is. But hey, if there's one positive thing I can say about this movie, it's that at least it doesn't disrespect the original movie. Again, it basically is the original movie, just with CGI animals. But still, even as someone who didn't really look too much forward to this movie, even I can say that I was very disappointed by the fact that it was basically just the original movie and they didn't really take a lot of risks. But I do have to say that there was maybe a couple of new scenes in the movie. Some scenes had different dialogue, at least the version I watched. But still, at its core, it just felt like a cash grab. And really, Disney, do you really need to make a cash grab right now? I mean, you just made Endgame, which is the highest grossing movie of all time. And with all this said, the score I will give to this movie is a 5 out of 10. At least if we're looking at it objectively. Kinda. You see, it's kind of hard for me to rate this movie because it has to be sort of a combination between how objectively good it is and how much I just think it didn't need to exist, at all. But either way guys, peace out.